Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry we're late. I had like a bunch of issues starting the stream and stuff. Like I couldn't get my lights to turn on and it took forever for the stream. Like when you start streaming, it doesn't let you start the broadcast right away and it took forever. Anyways, and then I made breakfast. So yeah. Let's come to the charts because things are getting interesting. Things are getting interesting. Well, so let's start with the S&P again, because this is kind of telling. It's funny. Like every day we have to start with the S&P because the treasuries are just not moving as much as they should. And I really think that it is that we don't, I didn't realize how big of a portion the New York Fed was of the market. So here's the S&P 500. They took a pretty big plunge on Friday after the kind of like trade war spiffs with China started happening. And in the overnight session, yesterday and the overnight and then yesterday, they did okay, but they didn't completely recover all of it. Well, it was Columbus Day, maybe no big deal. So we're coming in today looking to see if maybe there would be a bigger recovery today. Well, it seems that the overnight action has been more trade war stuff. Excuse me. More trade war. They are still concerned. Traders are still concerned. I'm kind of the opinion at the moment, at least at the moment, that this is still a buy the dip kind of opportunity. But this really has the potential to spin out into something really, really bad. So stay on your toes. Here's the treasuries. Treasuries pushing up to 1 month highs. There's still, we still got a ways to go up here, right? So I don't think it's until we get to like 113.30. What is that? Yeah, 29. Which is probably beyond the volatility projected ranges for today. But it's doing okay. And I feel comfortable with this range. So, between the highs and like 113. So let's say 113, 114-ish area. Right? Oil kind of taking a hit. So it's kind of funny when we were over here. It was like, they're going to not put as much supply out. But now it's really taking a plunge. And the oil market is like crazy oversupplied and there seems to be no respite. So it's wild to me how quickly that one changed. Gold and silver still appear to be doing well, although there is some volatility up here. Here's silver. So silver got above the $50. They are just below it right now. So I'm gonna bet that they play with that a little bit. Seems like we're getting some mean reversion and they're going to play with 50. But we're at 50. They increased margins and everything. They seem to be doing okay. I think gold and silver could continue. But you got to be careful with these ones because when gold and silver fall apart, it happens very quickly. Copper is having more volatility because of the tariffs and the yen. Well, the yen is up a little bit as a flight to safety bid, but I mean, it's not nearly enough to undo the damage, right? We should zoom that in. And the dollar is sitting nice and pretty at $99. Well, $99.08. Bitcoin continuing down a little bit. That's looking a little dire to me in Bitcoin. I mean, when you get below 110,000, that's where all of Sailor's new positions that he just purchased are underwater. So I don't think that that's necessarily like the end of the world, but it certainly doesn't look good for them. You come and look at Bitcoin over here on this right, like they could have a much further drop off if we get a real bear market in cryptocurrencies. So I think they're still a little vulnerable, but we're gonna have to see below 110 first, and then maybe this 200-day moving average is probably gonna lend some support to them. So that's where we're kind of looking at over there. Okay, so while we've been speaking, the treasuries have come down a little bit. So I suppose that's good. I mean, it's bad, but it's good. It's good because we want to see more. We want to see more optimism, and that probably means they're going to sell the treasuries. But that also means higher interest rates. Let's see here. Uzi's changed his name. 2 to 5 went outside their overnight projected ranges. 10 almost reached the second, and 30 hits first on the nose. So I think we got to be a little bit on our toes here, because I think in this situation, we are likely to be getting headlines. Bowman is about to speak. Oh, Goldman Sachs earnings call today. Did we already get their earnings? Should go and take a look at that. Yeah, that's your Google handle. Why did it change? Oh yeah, APOL shows as APOL too. So something must have changed on YouTube. Octavia says we're at negative gamma in the S&P. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at that. So we are at 66.20. Oh, you're right. We're below several negative gamma points, and we come to some more at 6,600. That's not very good. Okay, what does negative gamma mean? So let me try and be detailed about this. I will draw a picture. And I apologize. Some of this will maybe be a review. Some of this will be like, oh, I already understand this. But okay, so you got puts and calls, right? In options. And if we are to draw a graph here of your profit and loss, right? If we are buying a call, that means that if it's below our strike price, so if the center line is our strike price, if it's below the strike price, we lose money. And then as it closes above the strike price, we make money, and it gets positive when the price is above the premium that we paid for the option. All right. And this is your simple kind of line to say, you know, how much money do I make based on what the current price is. Okay. And the slope of this line is what we call delta. Right? How much the value of my option changes as the price of the underlying changes. Okay. But the truth is that this is not actually a straight line. It is actually a curved line like this, which is to say that as we get further away from your strike price, the value of the option becomes more and more and more and more. This is called gamma. Okay. So, when you buy an option, you are buying it from a market maker, and that market maker, he will be short the option. Okay. So his graph looks different. let's draw it with a blue line. His graph is like the opposite. He makes money if it's below your strike price, and then the higher it gets below the strike price, the more he loses money. So what does he do? He buys the stock. If he buys the stock, the profit and loss of the stock looks like this, right? And so when you combine all of that together, what happens is he makes money because right here he's losing money on the option, but he's making money on the underlying. So those cancel out, and he just makes the premium, essentially, right? That's how they hedge themselves. But because this line is actually curved, it means that the further away that he gets, the more of the underlying he has to own in order to be fully hedged. Okay. We call that negative gamma. Negative gamma meaning that the market maker has to buy or sell more of the underlying. Okay. So what that means is that when we are looking at this chart right here, okay, when we have positive gamma, that has a tendency to keep price constrained. Positive gamma means that the market maker will actually, if they're long, the market maker is long the underlying, he will actually sell some of those shares at this point, because that's what makes the most sense from their hedging strategy. Whereas if it's negative, then this is the situation I was just talking about, where they have to buy or sell. So if the market maker is short the underlying, then when we get below this point, he's actually going to sell more. So passing these points will make price accelerate. And we are at some of those points right now at 6640 and 6600. Right? So yeah, the sale will continue. So if the S&P 500 is unable to get its bearings on the open and start selling off, then there's a very good chance that that sell-off continues. Now, one thing we do have to consider is that it is options expiration at the end of this week. So that also means that these flows, they're going to have relatively large positions on, and these flows are going to be relatively powerful as well. So we're in a good position for short gamma setups. It's actually probably one of the best setups. So I'm glad Octavius pointed it out here for us. GC is dumping. I'd say, it's been up a lot, and they haven't really damaged the trend, but at the moment they are selling it pretty hard. And the Japanese yen is selling pretty hard, and the treasuries are selling mildly. But that's probably all a wash until the S&P gets going this morning, huh? I feel like the 30 is going to weigh the other treasuries down. I suppose it depends on which way we end up going, because if we continue to have steepening and the treasuries move up, then the 30 is probably going to drag. And you could see a situation where even though the treasuries move down and mean revert, that the spread continues to move in the steepener direction, and then you would really see the 30-year drag. Right now, they're kind of pointed down, and the yield curve has not shifted back. There was some steepening here, but now they're flat. So I hear you on that one. also means we got to be a little bit wary about reading too much into buy volume over here in the 5-year. Sorry, over here in the 5-year. Now, I haven't really heard anything from my news squawk from Bowman. I think that was just like a text release, and that's already over. It seems like a little bit of a liquidity hole, but decent back and forth at 12 too. So people may be putting bets on. We should probably turn our robot on. A Fed speaker saying trade could be disinflationary for a couple of years. So on the economy, here's the thing that I see. Here's the conundrum, is that there are a lot of people out of work. I'm having a hard time finding work. I'm not the only one. The unemployment rate is edging up, and the thing that's concerning about it is that it's not just that the unemployment rate is edging up, but that the people are staying unemployed for a really, really long time. So we are just not growing. And some of the economic measures that we're getting right now, like GDP, for instance, are probably really deceptive. Like the last quarter of GDP looked really, really good, but you have to consider that they subtract imports is one of the inputs into the GDP calculation. And if we're not importing as much because importers kind of moved all of that forward to get in before the tariffs, that means that imports are going to be less afterwards. And so GDP is going to appear stronger than it actually is. Okay. So we're in this situation where things under the surface are actually quite dire, and a lot of the top line numbers aren't giving us good information. But we're also in a situation where some areas of the economy are really, really struggling, and some areas of the economy are doing relatively well. Like if you're in tech, it is just an absolute dumpster fire. And the number of candidates applying to these jobs is just absolutely insane. What do you do about that? Well, and this is where some people are like, this is why we need basic universal income, things like that, right? But I don't think that basic universal income actually solves the problem. So it's kind of funny. It's actually the same problem that our current system has, but worse. What do I mean by that? The problem is with our current system, what we have is we have interest rates, and if we need more money, if things are getting rough, then we put more money into the system so to spur investment and to spur people to create new companies and things like that. But the problem is that there's only one interest rate and there's multiple sectors of the economy. So if we come in and we make the interest rate low, that'll help the industries that are really struggling like tech, but that will also help other industries that are already doing too well. Like, I don't know, minerals, I guess. And lead to inflation. So the issue is that you need something more targeted. And UBI wouldn't be more targeted necessarily. So what really should be happening right now, I think, is Congress should be talking about stimulus. They should be stimulus to help the specific areas of the economy that we need. Like stimulus that can be given only to new companies, to spur startups and things like that. Probably what we need right now. But it's not going to happen because the government shut down, right? And the Democrats won't do anything to help Trump. So I think that this is why I'm a little bit concerned if the market takes too much of a downturn and companies end up laying people off because of that. This could turn very nasty very quickly. All right, so this tech recession will cause lower skills in software developers because smart people will leave to other fields and mediocre people will stay and get their 100 to 200K jobs without competition in 5 years. After, there will be shortages because everyone hears that it's oversaturated. Probably. Probably if we had lower interest rates, tech would probably be back into this. We don't have enough people. I think that it could go back to that very, very quickly. Well, that's an interesting look. There, Obama doing an interview on CNN in a black suit with a black shirt, saying there's a rising wave of authoritarianism sweeping the globe. It's hot in here today. Not shocking to see that after both red and blue were, quote, calling him out recently, and now he probably feels like they are all against him. Obama? I don't really see anybody calling out Obama, to be honest with you. I'm not paying attention. It's kind of weird for him to be picking this time to come out, but I think that what's going on is that the Democrats aren't doing very well, and Obama is kind of like, okay, well, I'm the only one that can help with that, right? The problem is that the Democrat policy has not really turned out all that well for people. And the things that Obama did are a major part of that. We are breaking the opening range here at the moment, by the way. Interestingly enough, the robot was actually getting long signals. It's too sensitive. Reddit now allows users to hide post history so they can better disguise bot counts. Maybe. From r/day trading's post, people need to stop hating on day trading. People need to stop hating on day trading. Just venting post because honestly, I'm tired of the constant backlash against day trading. I don't day trade myself, but my partner has been doing it consistently for about 2 years now. Is he profitable? Of course not. But he's getting better. Oh my God. Is this a joke post? We continue. We have regular discussions about it, and the money he adds to his account is something we agree on and money we can afford to lose. Well, that's good. I keep seeing videos and podcasts absolutely bashing day trading, and I don't get why it's always so extreme. They say things like no one on the Forbes 400 is a day trader or everyone loses. But that completely misses the point. Most day traders aren't trying to become billionaires. They're trying to build consistent, sustainable income, and there are plenty of responsible day traders who trade with money they can afford to lose. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that like consistent, sustainable income is even kind of like not very realistic. But I digress. It's like people assume all day traders throw their life savings into an account with no strategy or thought behind it, but the hate usually comes from a few real issues. People selling false promises, beginners treating it like gambling, the reality that statistically most short-term traders do lose money. Now, I think that the issue with it is that 99% of what you're looking at and learning as a retail day trader is complete nonsense. Day trading isn't inherently bad. It's just one tool you can absolutely trade actively and build long-term wealth. At the same time, day trading can be a small, controlled part of a diversified strategy. So yeah, this is just me venting about seeing yet another video. I get why people warn others, but I really wish the conversation around day trading was more nuanced. Not everybody doing it is gambling. Some people are actually learning, improving, and being quietly responsible about it. Well, you might be responsible, man. Okay, so we are falling here. Where's our numbers? Not so sure if that really played out with as like the 30-year dragging us down. It kind of all went together, but oh, okay, you sent them. So in ZN 113.08 08 half-ish, or no, actually it looks like it's 07 half to 06 half. So from here to here. So there might be a little bit further for this to go. And that's not necessarily that's not like a projection. That's like opening price, isn't it? Remember, dots are the session, solids are the overnight. Well, I'm not 100% sure what to make of all of that, but it kind of seems to me that after we touch 07.5, maybe we could get a bounce. I don't think that that would be the play I'd be looking to make today, though. Because they really could be like a recovery trend day. The reason why day trading is chat on is because of the huge influencer ecosystem that has been built up around it, 99% of which are scams. I actually don't think that 99% of them are scams. I think that the majority of them are either A, people genuinely trying to make good content in spite of their flaws and inadequacies, or B, people that are just really naive. Don't understand that the luck that they've had was, or that the success that they've had was luck. Why is everyone not onto algo trading? Am I missing something? Yeah. Your back test is not a reliable back test. Flawed back test. I'm looking at this and I'm immediately like, okay, yeah. That's not a long enough time period. The performance of it is a little sketchy. The color gate thing is just getting deeper and deeper. It says, after the initial incident, QT Cinderella went to Hassan's house to check the color. She confirms the tape theory. What is the tape theory? That he put tape on it to make it not look like a shock collar? I'm not sure she realizes what she's revealing here. I tell you what, like Hassan being a total douche, not surprising at all. But other Twitch influencers trying to like defend and cover for him when they know that he's guilty, did not see that one coming. My goodness. It's crazy. Why would you do that? I think when they're saying tape, they're saying that they put tape on parts of the color so that it doesn't look like the shock collar. So I feel like, it's bouncing up here and that it's trying to fool us. But I'm not entirely sure. I'm a little bit wary about this right now. I do feel like that it's progressing a little bit too slowly. Like if we were going to make a move all the way to 07.5, I think it would have been there already. Like it would want to have done it before the S&P 500 opening, AI is a transformative technology with the potential to significantly boost productivity growth similar to the steam engine, railroad, and internet. What are your yep, I agree. Except for that it is in a bubble right now. It's in a bubble right now. I'm automatically rejected for jobs I am perfectly qualified for. Why does this happen? Yeah. You tell me. Nobody knows. It could be one little keyword they're looking for that you don't have. Never mind, America's real economy, its deal economy is booming. Let's read that. Donald Trump has unleashed a mergers and acquisition bonanza. America's, well, I won't be able to read the whole thing without an account. But see, that's the issue, though, is that we don't want... Not that lots of mergers and acquisitions are bad, but that doesn't necessarily create jobs. We need startups. We need startups. Help Seth start a startup. We need the money. Give us 0 interest rates so that we can... Not 0 interest rates, but lower interest rates. 5% is too high. Wow. 1.5 years of job searching and only 2 interviews? That's terrible. Hello, I'm here for a job interview. Great. And do you have experience? Yes, this is my 20th interview. Dog picture unrelated. What's up with China? Apparently China and the United States are both posturing ahead of a conference in South Korea, I believe it is. Rotation in Xi'an. Well, I'm noticing some big orders on the bid now in Xi'an. But there's not one at 09. So that's a little suspicious to me, actually. Like they're trying. I'm still suspicious that they're gonna pound it back down again. That it could be them trying to convince us that the downside is over and that we're mean reverting, and then they're gonna get their orders filled. Because it's not across the board. Dr. Phil faces total collapse after MAGA alignment backfires? What is that about? I didn't realize that he was that MAGA aligned, was he? Oh, apparently Dr. Phil started his own network and it's not doing very well. Dr. Phil is one of those people that I don't really understand. Like, are they really actually popular? Like, it seems like he is popular, but I've never met somebody that's like a big fan of like, where are the Dr. Phil super fans? I've never met them. Like, what? It makes me wonder if his popularity is all manufactured. You know? Yeah. Is he really popular, or did he have views because it was always one of the 3 options on cable TV? QT confirms the collar had a shock function before the prongs were removed. So the dog had the shock collar on. He used it. People on Twitch started to figure it out. So he took the collar, took the prongs out of it, and showed people to say, hey, see, it just vibrates. We never had the shock part in. Do you think she understands how badly she screwed this dude right now, right? You know what bothers me the most about Hassan? I don't know. Maybe you guys don't want to talk about Hassan, but I want to talk about it. It keeps coming to my mind. But this is going to sound really stupid. But like, it's the tone of his voice when he's complaining about something. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah. Guys, right? It's like somebody that has never had to speak with authority, right? Like if your kids are being shitheads, you don't go, guys, stop doing no. Say, Asher, what are you doing? Stop that. Leave your brother alone. You don't do that. You know what I'm talking about? But that guy, he's constantly like going whiny. Every clip, he's got this whiny tone of voice, and it irks me. Ooh, did we come back down to the bottom? Yeah. That usually grooming name or nature. Nah, I think that is just somebody that has never really done anything. You know what I mean? Like I think the worst thing that could possibly happen to a person in terms of their personal development is to become a childhood star. You know what I mean? Like Justin Bieber maybe is the one that maybe kind of escaped that a little bit, but he got ruined in other ways. But it's just like when you're the kid's star, and then, you know, everything after that is just people brown-nosing you, and you never have to develop. You never have to struggle. You never have to try hard. And even if you are successful academically, there's these other issues. So like you get these people, especially like, because has Hassan been to a university? Like, I don't know. What's he done? Has he? Let's go look at this. He graduated from Rutgers University in 2013 with a major in political science and communications studies. So he did. But I think the one that really does it, though, is having kids. So you have all of these people, especially in media right now, that do not have the experience of raising kids, or they became famous before they had kids. So they do have kids, but they're not really raising them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that I've had to go through some real financial struggles the past year, but I'm a tougher person because of it. I don't like that how much of my time and attention is taken by raising an autistic son. But I have more insight. I'm a more effective person because of it. And I see all of these people that it's like very clear just from the tone of their voice. Right? They don't have any experience. Or like the same thing happened with man, do you see that whole thing between Emma Watson and J.K. Rowling? where Emma kind of gave this like conciliatory statement during an interview, and J.K. Rowling was like, no, Emma, you screw you. and I think that J.K. Rowling has it exactly right in that J.K. Rowling had to struggle. She really had to struggle, you know, and she has a lot of life experience because of it. And that comes out in what you say and how you approach situations. Like with this Hassan Piker thing, with the Collargate thing, these influencers like literally like holding water for him and stuff. You wouldn't do that if you had life experience, right? You wouldn't do that if you had confidence in yourself either. You would be like, no. This guy is a threat to my brand, and I don't want anything to do with it. I probably wouldn't want to like upset the mob, but I would be staying as far away from it as possible, you know? Many people would, if it was seen as possible and not going to financially ruin us to the point of kids suffering, and then we get berated for seeing the truth. What, that it's too difficult to have children? I don't know if I agree with that though. The thing has always been that the people that are the most likely to have children are poor people. So we are about to touch a 07.5 here, I think. I don't think that was ever good for a trade, to trade it on it continuing down a little bit. But I think that it was a little bit sketchy. And I think that we read that perfectly. So now that it's touched 07.5, I could potentially look at a long. I'm not really feeling it, especially since we only got 30 minutes left. But I suppose it could be worth it, a shot, especially if the S&P 500 decides to sell down. Right? We're right at 6620. I don't know. I'm not like too much like pile on it unless the S&P, unless SPOOs get to 6,600. So I think I'm still like not doing anything. Oh, okay. So they pushed even further in the Treasury too. Oh, now hold on, because the SPOOs were selling at that time too. I am hearing French headlines. There might be some reaction to that. Big iceberg said 06.5. Okay, so it looks to me like the volatility arbitrageurs, or I don't know what we should call them, but it does look like that volume that we tend to see after we touch those price levels is coming through here. I don't know if that's supportive of a long or not, but it is all in line with expectations. The issue is I'm not entirely sure like how big these sellers are, because there could be some real buy the dippers out there, right? I don't think I have a clear imbalance. I think this is a situation where we could outperform the volatility, but I don't know which way the imbalance is going to be. I don't think it's usually like that. So most of the ones having children these days are younger and always regretting it. No baby daddy, no money, etc., etc. So many baddies. Well, but you know what? It's I don't think that they realize how blessed they are is the thing. Because what's going to happen is you have the kids when you're young, and then when you're in your 40s and 50s, your kids are already graduating from school and on their own, and then you can go and do stuff at a time in your life where you're more established and you can actually do things, right? like the way that I see the younger generations approach this thing, like millennials and onward, actually I would say Gen X and onward, is completely backwards. Telling you guys, this whole thing, like, have fun when you're young and, you know, save the kids until later. No, it's backwards. Look, when you're young, you're going to have fun no matter what. You're going to enjoy what you're doing when you're young. You have your health with you and all of these sorts of things, right? What you should do when you're young is put your head down, work hard, have kids. Get that done with early so that when you're in your 40s, you can be partying instead of, like dealing like what I'm dealing with. Right? And then you can go and you can have the fun when you're established and you have the money and you can actually do really fun things. Right? If you were meant to work hard in your 50s, then we wouldn't age so quick. How are you supposed to buy that? Well, okay, there's some problems in this current economy that nothing can fix. But I still think if you're better off getting married, having kids. So, there's another thing to this, which is that, oh, by the way, that bounced pretty hard. There's another side to this, which is getting married tends to make you more rich. Like a lot of people that correlation is well known, but people will say, well, that's cause, you can't prove cause and effect. It's probably that the people that feel secure enough and have the money have the kids, and that's why there's this correlation, or get married and have kids, and that's why there's this correlation between them. But there's been a lot of research on this, and some researchers are very confident that actually it's the getting married that makes you more money. And it is. I'm telling you, like when you're married, it changes you significantly. Having kids changes you significantly. And those changes do make you much more capable and able to make more money. Okay, so it looks like they're shying away from the 09 a little bit, but I know, I'm kind of wondering if Uzi would have taken did you take a trade there, Uzi? Well, I feel like this is where Uzi would come out and be like, well, I'm long 06 half, but and I'm like, dang, I can't believe you took that, right? Isn't that usually the way that it goes? Ooh, I feel like I read the way that this was going to go almost perfectly, but it happened too quickly. Like, it bouncing off of that so sharp is a bit of a surprise to me. I kind of thought we would chill down there for a few more minutes. Bouncing back like that. But the S&P 500 seems to be falling a little bit harder. So maybe before we go, we will see them cross the line, huh? People can't, yeah. The whole thing, though, like, people can't afford houses, people can't afford cars. The whole market is messed up. Whole market is messed up. Well, we need a reset, man. If this negative action that we're seeing right now is just a buy the dip opportunity, on one hand, that's kind of good. That's like that can probably give the economy more life. Like flushing out all of that speculation and that craft and everything can help extend a rally. But it's also kind of a missed opportunity because I kind of feel like that I'm starting to feel that the best thing that could happen right now is that we just have a real recession. That's like the only way that we could possibly bring things back to, and it would have to be a mild recession. Because if it was a recession that actually did damage, like 2000, like this whole thing, 2008 did real lasting damage, right? It's kind of brought us to where we are now. I don't want there to be a recession, but if there's going to be a recession, the good thing about it would be that maybe it can kind of clear the air a little bit. They are touching 09. Anyways. I guess the larger thing that really bothers me, ultimately, like the thing that bothers me the most about modern society and some of the trends that I'm seeing among younger generations in particular, it's the lack of excellence. So like if you want to stand up and speak truth to power, be excellent. Nothing threatens power more than excellence. This whole cult of mediocrity thing where people are like, well, it doesn't really matter if you work hard or not because you're going to get rewarded all the same and it's all just a big stupid game and so we should just play this big stupid game. That's what they want. That's what they want, is they want you to be mediocre. They want you to be just enough for them to get the productivity that they need out of you, but not enough that you're ever a threat to them or competition. That's what they want. This is why I can't take these people, like, on the left, frankly, if I get political enough about it. This is why you can't take these people on the left seriously. Especially these people that are out rioting in the streets and destroying things, or these people that just sit on a live stream and pontificate all day, have never done anything with their lives other than that, or these politicians that literally ride on their mediocrity. Their whole persona is kind of based on that they weren't very successful before that, right? Like, I can't take these people seriously because what are they doing to be excellent? What are they doing to constantly improve themselves? What are they building? How are they helping their communities? I don't see it. I see a bunch of selfish, entitled brats that aren't doing anything and certainly aren't encouraging people to be excellent. And everybody seems to think, well, I could be excellent. If I chose to be, then I could be awesome. No, you can't. No, you can't. Because being excellent is a skill that takes daily practice. And if you've never practiced excellence your whole life, then when the time comes, when there's that pretty girl that you really want, or that nice manager position that you really want, or opportunity to start your own business or whatever it is, you're going to fail because you've never practiced being excellent. Past the 09, how you do anything is how you do everything. Dude, if this retraces all the way back up to 13.5 this quickly, that's gonna be wild. But the S&P is still selling. There's a big order at 02. Okay, so they're just smashing it. So I think that right there, I think is an example of the negative gamma that we're talking about. Like, there's probably some big options sellers out there seeing that and sweeping that, taking it before it's passed, because they want to sell them as high as they can. Is it a crash? Maybe. So we have crossed our lines. I don't want to say that like you cross 6,600 that guarantees that we'll continue further. It's just that that's where a particular flow comes in and pushes it. And given the situation, I don't really see anything to like come and save them. And the treasuries do seem to be responding to it. It seems like the treasuries flipped around like exactly when the S&P decided to start selling too. So, well, if the news are coming, well, I don't think that there's any. We don't have any scheduled news. We do have a 3 and 6 month bill auction today. We do have a bunch of bank earnings. We do have Powell speaking later today. Let's see about that. Is that on okay. Due to participate in a moderated discussion about the economic outlook and monetary policy at the National Association for Business Economics annual meeting in Philadelphia with audience questions expected. Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, I feel like that's not good, right? because how Powell has continued to be like, well, you know, we're just balancing the risks, but we still think that the economy is healthy. And part of me thinks that that's just him like not wanting to spook people, but part of me thinks that he really doesn't think that things are that bad right now, and that we're really turning his arm and forcing him to cut rates. You know? So that's why I'm concerned that him speaking could be a bit of a market sell event, or it has the potential to be one. But I don't think that that's what's going on here. I think what's going on here is mostly to do with existing positioning and the overnight headlines on China. We've been long so much. Like really, this rally that we've had this year is zany, frankly. And there's got to be a lot of people out there saying, I need to protect this, because there is some real risk of downturn and I don't want to lose 50% of it. That's probably where I would go to. Like if we had a recession, probably be a 50% decline. Okay, well, let me reset, because they seem to be doing more volume at 10 now. That is like right by the VWAP. The treasuries, by the way, will come back to here. Hard bounce off of that line, which is actually a little bit unusual. That these lines, they will hard bounce off of, but this line, they usually go a little bit through it. So I wonder if that one might just be a little bit of a coincidence. But we did come back to this line, which is about this line, or this line is where we'd expect. So they got this line, they're distributing, kind of taking a breather, I guess you could say. Let's see here. Is inventory cost basis really that useful? It really can be that useful in points. So the place where it's like the preciseness of it is kind of a little bit creepy, is when you have a really big unexpected move. Like if we're like having a good rally that day, and then some news event comes along that just completely destroys the rally and causes the market to sell off hard, they will go right to that line and pause. It's like every time. It's crazy, like to the tick. In SPOOs, yeah, it's wild. So the cost basis indicator especially in the 10-year Treasury, and a little bit in ES, does have a lot of use. It really does kind of help explain why they will pull back to certain areas. That basically this happens because the market makers have to like rebalance their inventory. So when the people that are pushing it stop, this is where the market makers kind of let it flow back to. Let's see here. 6 Palestinians killed after Israel opens fire over violation of ceasefire. Health authorities said that the fatalities had occurred across 2 separate incidents. They say they've opened fire on suspects, they say, approached soldiers near an agreed-upon ceasefire line in northern Gaza. The military said several suspects were identified and shot to remove the threat due to a violation of the ceasefire agreement. Health authorities said 6 people had been killed. It comes a day after Donald Trump vowed to rebuild Gaza after Israel and Hamas exchanged hostages and detainees on Monday, bringing a brutal 2-year... Is there going to be a Trump Tower in Gaza? That's going to be crazy. You coded it? Yeah, I coded it. You can download it and try it for free for 2 weeks at speculatorseth.com if you have NinjaTrader. Download the suite for NinjaTrader. I also have a version for CR charts. And it is a model and an estimate, so it's not perfect and it doesn't apply in all situations and everything, but there are some situations where it makes a pretty good target. And I don't know if that headline, that Israel headline is a huge deal, but it's not positive. Any version NinjaTrader, yep. Should be fine. And if you have issues with it, I'll help, you can help me debug it. But, these indicators have gotten pretty stable. D found all of the bugs for us. And from r/day trading, the trade war is getting tiring. Yeah. I really want to see the economy recover. I want to get on with life, I want to see what's next. I want to build my own. Well, you know what? Maybe God is doing this so that we have some time to build our trading platform so that when interest rates do come down and startups do become viable again, I'll be ready. We can start it. I already have something demoable and stuff. That the last down tick looked a little strong. The E-mini, even though they did pierce the big level, like they seem to be holding it for now. So that I think actually is really positive. And it's not like there's been like there's been more headlines or anything. It's just selling that we got. Man. So, you know the whole thing about there was somebody that went short in Bitcoin before the whole like decline with China and all of that? And apparently he upped his short and he is now almost 500 million short. Still getting good clicks, but you know what? It's time for me to get going. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. You know, them piercing the level and kind of, I expect them to like usually play with it a little bit, but this looks like a little bit more than that maybe. So maybe we're not going to get the big gamma push. I kind of feel like that they need a good reason to stay there, you know? But we'll see where we're at. I think like where we end today does end up being relatively significant level because yesterday didn't count. It was Columbus Day. So, see you guys tomorrow. And then Thursday, I get to have fun. We can stream a little bit longer on Thursday. I think, well, I don't know if my wife will be home, but we can probably stream till 9:30 if you guys would like, and we'll work on our trading platform. All right, guys, and then I'm probably going to make a bunch of TikToks too. I haven't been able to make any TikToks the last 6 months. Stay excellent, team.